welcome back to my channel, and let's welcome back the guys from Cannibal Video. We've got Stefan, aka Just Daggers, and Lee. Guys, welcome back. How you doing?
Oh, it's good to be back on such a special occasion.
I know. Are you ready for this?
My God. I don't know. It'll almost be like PTSD, like I'm going back.
No, I was going to say,
like, numb, and here I am.
You never know if you're ready until you're in that situation yourself.
Exactly.
You can't predict it.
Well, this is what's going on for those of you tuning in. We watched two movies. We watched Ninja Cheerleaders, which came out in 2008, which we talked about over on the Cannibal Video channel. And on my channel, we're talking all about Cheerleader Ninjas, that was released in 2003. We're still not quite sure when it was made. I'm thinking 1994, but
yeah.
There's a lot of mixed signals about what the timing was when this thing was made, but we'll get into that. So, guys, what are your first impressions of Cheerleader Ninjas?
My first note was, this is the most 90s movie ever made, and then seeing that it came out in 2003, I was like, impossible. Like this has such a vibe of well, no, we got a VHS recorded, on the shoulder camera. We can make a movie now. I got some friends, I think.
I have some friends, not for long. I'm gonna make them into my enemies. Yeah, it has that school project vibe, definitely.
Yes, so. School project, on the nose. That is the vibe with pervs.
Yes.
What school? Adult school.
No, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this. If it was made by people that had I almost said had a better sense of humor. I'm gonna swap that and say people who had a sense of humor properly, right? It actually could have been really charming and fun and good. But as it stands, that isn't what happened. And I chuckled a few times, but no. Okay, good. I'm gonna say confession time. I chuckled a few times, but no, this is a tough one. This is not it.
No, and I'm struggling to come up with a synopsis so that the people who haven't seen this movie and are watching know what we're talking about. And yeah,
you would sound like a little kid just talking to their parents about an entire TV show and going, and then
there's too much subplot and fake plot. I think if I had to say it quickly, it would be like cheerleaders must learn the ninja arts and team up with a group of nerds to stop Christians and the internet. Something like that.
Yeah.
And that's what feels so 90s about it, which they don't know what the internet is.
Because 2003 and because we open, first we open with a selection of alternate titles. For this film. And
yes.
They just got
I actually liked some of those.
Some of them were funny, and I was like, okay, what the hell is going to happen in this movie? Because I wrote a few of them down.
As did I.
One of them is kickboxing kennel bitches in heat. 101 ways to walk your dog, spelled W-O-K. Teen sewer tramps slaughter helpless baby seals. And used love dolls. We got them cheap because there was a lot of sex.
Yes, there was.
Blow up sex dolls in this movie. You could do a supercut of all the times a sex doll popped up.
I encourage it.
Or why you smell like Vaseline.
My goddamn hot dog! Intruder alert! Intruder alert! Alarm! We don't have the money to print flyers.
Where drool butt? New issue of Penthouse is on the stands.
William Shatner beer! Shatner beer!
I use my feet. Beat it, beat it.
And sometimes for like, we can't do this normally, we will sub in a sex doll.
Yeah,
and other times, that's just a sex doll.
There's no stunt doubles in this movie. There's stunt sex dolls in this movie.
Which
There are boob doubles.
Yes.
The title that came up first was Crouching Tiger, Hidden 357, and that I thought was great. I was like, oh, I'd watch that. It doesn't. None of those titles make sense for this movie.
No.
And honestly, barely does the actual title. Like Cheerleader Ninjas, they are not ninjas.
No, not at all. They're barely cheerleaders.
I was gonna say they are cheerleaders first, though. So I feel like of the two titles, this one is like, kind of for both, honestly.
Yes.
But so like my first two notes are funny ? Title cards, and then I just say yeesh.
There's two of my first two notes are, is this a porn? And
that's a good question.
It's a very good question because I'm still not sure that it wasn't a porn.
Can I take off my shirt?
I would
think
say
it was a fetish piece.
This is one of those horny director type things. Where it's like, I would not even be surprised if that one kid was the director. I didn't look into it at all, but it felt like one of those things where it's like, I need a reason to get pretty girls to take off their tops.
I just love it when she's bitchy. I'm gonna make that girl mine.
You know, I think we're taking this boyfriend dog metaphor just a bit too far.
I'll make a movie.
Yeah.
What will it be about? Everything. Fuck it.
Everything. Just fucking everything.
The original title was like pretty girls take off their tops, and it's like it's too on the nose. We need to abstract that away somehow. Yeah.
We can't be that obvious. But I mean, a majority of the humor in this is that spoof movie type of humor. There was a few little Mel Brooksian things sprinkled in very sparingly. Very sparingly.
What do you mean by that? Do you have a...
Well, I mean, there's when it's kind of panning over the bleachers as they're cheering, and it's got signs for each little section of students.
Go, go, hamsters! Don't run away! Show the crusaders your toilet train! Don't know why you kick and scream or why you smell like Vaseline. We don't like you, ooh, ooh, ooh. Your breath is like camel dew. Johnny, he's our man. If he can't do it, we'll eat spam. How funky is your chicken? How loose is your stool? If you're running for...
I thought that was a little Mel Brooksian kind of thing, but that's kind of where that ended.
And then it's mostly racism and nudity.
Racism, horrible stereotypes, farting, and sex toys.
And sound. We got just in general sound effects. And they even call it out at one point where I'm like, does that make it all right? And then I decided no, it doesn't.
No.
No. That was a trend in video games at some point where they would acknowledge oh, we have to do another one of these quests, but then you would have to go actually do that quest. So it's what it's not making it better. You're just calling out that it's bad. And the movie with those alternate titles, right, is very meta. It's very aware of what it's doing too, which again just points to the lunacy of whoever made it, where it's they need to know exactly how funny I am. We have to keep going in.
Yeah, there were several instances where they were like, hey, look at us. We're looking directly at the camera and winking at you. So they do that several times.
Yes.
They're actually looking at the camera while they're saying these things like, get it? Get it?
The only good one was that one girl, the bad girl, from the, what is it, Virgin Prostitutes of America Club or whatever. And she gets her dress all slashed up. She's like, well, this is bad. Oh, this is real bad.
This could be bad. Yep, real bad.
Just the way she said that one, I'm like, oh, that's the only line that was delivered nicely. I like this. But everything else just felt real try hard.
Some of them had a spark where you were like, you might actually be able to do something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we open up with a PSA on the dangers of the internet, that it's full of pornography and homosexuality and all these awful things. And it's
Billy doesn't know that he's only moments away from being sucked into a stinking pit of alternative lifestyle pornographic depravity. Did you know that this terrible tragedy is repeated thousands of times every day? Hello, I'm your narrator.
this PSA is being shown by, is she like the head mistress of the
She
school?
must be. I was not sure. She at least runs that, like, parents with too much time in their hands organization.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's like a John Waters thing. Oh,
It
we
is.
are, the
Yes,
dancing
it
is forbidden here. And then evil Cara Delevingne is telling, is like running this like thing. Yes.
We can save our children's souls from this internet gay kitty porn perversion.
She did look a lot like her.
I was like, how old is this movie? Yeah.
I had trouble judging the age of a lot of characters in the movie.
Yes.
Where I'm like, I don't know, because like again, being 2003, clearly not. Like, but like if you were like, oh well, in the early 90s, people looked differently, and like hairdos and things made people look older and whatever. And like I'm like I can't place these people, nor do I understand. Like, are you an adult actress playing a kid here? Like
that one cheerleader.
Are you in your 30s? Like, what's happening?
That one cheerleader is 40.
She was.
Oh, it's like, what's happening?
Yeah, well, we've got our own brand of underwear.
But the setup, the introduction to our plot is that this headmistress lady is very upset about the internet, and for some reason she's blaming these cheerleaders at this local public high school for the filth that's on the internet.
Because there was a poster of them.
I'm sorry, I just started freaking out because it's like, oh yeah, now we're gonna talk about the plot. I'm like, what is the plot?
What is the plot?
I don't know what's going on here.
Ladies, to destroy this monstrosity, we must start right here in our own backyards with the very symbols of teenage sexual depravity. Cheerleader computer geniuses from Happy Valley High.
It loops in on itself so much that it doesn't make sense. It's like, well, it's like trying to explain a time travel paradox.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, well, this only happened because of that, but that happened because of this, and that person was working for them. Wait a minute, what?
Yeah, and we constantly go through a loop in this film because you think, okay, we're at our climax. Nope, there's 50 minutes of this movie left.
I messaged Lindsay. I'm like, well, almost done with the movies, and you were like, I have an hour left, and I hit pause. And I was like, I have 50 minutes left. Oh my god!
Get them, my pretties! Ninja formation, now!
Dismember them! Dismember them, my minions!
What?
Fight scene!
We know about your diabolical plans to take over the world, Stefan.
But we're gonna take you down.
And then do some killer power shopping. We're gonna kick your ass.
It probably could have been a decent movie, like, if they had money, because to do a spoof on no budget is so hard. To do comedy in general is hard, because comedy means you need to have sound done properly, because the beats have to work. And if that doesn't work, it all falls apart and things aren't funny. And if you try to cover up by that by after fact adding fart sounds and bullshit gags and cutaway, like, you're already fighting an uphill battle. But if you would have given them enough money where each one of these props and bullshit things like was more than just a guy in a horse costume or a bear costume or whatever, like if these would have been like full-fledged things, if that Power Ranger thing wasn't a guy wearing a garbage bag, like things could have been interesting here.
I will give them credit though, they were very creative with what they had.
It's hard to believe they even attempted doing this project, honestly.
Yeah. I will give them credit for that. I will give them a lot of credit for their how industrious they were with fulfilling what they wrote down on a script. But so we have this setup of this headmistress, and she hates the internet because there's naked pictures of Sean Connery. That's a running gag throughout the movie, is this naked picture of Sean Connery.
Don't bring up that one of Sean Connery again.
I want you to replace every filthy picture on the internet with this.
Picture of Sean Connery naked?
All we want you to do is put these pictures up all over the internet.
Picture of Sean Connery naked?
Not that picture.
Not the worst thing to slap a woman now and then. As I remember, you said you don't do it with a clenched fist. It's better to do it with an open hand. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I didn't love that.
I haven't changed my opinion.
But she wants to replace all the porn images with an image of the Pope. And she wants to get revenge on these cheerleaders. And she uses this guy named... Stefan.
Yeah.
Was it Stefan?
Yes, it was.
You were like blanking your face, like she doesn't remember the name. I made it.
I escaped.
Yeah.
There's only like 3 Stefans in all of media, and this douche is one of them.
We will use the one person who hates cheerleaders more than we hate Protestants. Fear not, good ladies.
But he evidently, as a 45-year-old man, wanted to be on the high school cheerleading team.
You won't even let me be on your stupid little cheerleading squad, eh? Well, you're doomed. Doomed!
And they're like, no, dude. And so he wants to get revenge on them. And he is portrayed in the most offensively, stereotypically homosexual way.
You will go to prison for the rest of your life, surrounded by brutal men who will bend you to their every will.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Bitch.
And they just kept amping it up because anytime there was some kind of sexual entendre or double entendre, you know, he had to have this big overblown reaction. And I'm like, this is way too
But like
far.
he like sucks farts out of that dude's ass. Like he's like totally into it. Like,
oh God.
Whoa! What a man!
But it's like not even good, right? Someone's hacking and like I have to find a back door into the system. And he's like, ooh, right? Yeah. And they think that they're smarter than us too. We're like his title card is like a sassy this and that and blah 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 dot dot dot. Okay, he's gay. You happy? Fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like that's all in the fucking title card to like try to say like, oh, we're lampshading it. We know what we're doing. This is funny. It is not funny.
In his first dialogue scene, a lady calls him out by pulling a bazooka and then slurs him. And I'm like, okay.
That was one of the times I laughed.
I'm gonna yes, it was a below the belt stupid joke, but it was the fact that like it's this escalation of like tough girl with a knife, and then it's like a sword and a bazooka.
Yes. That was another Mel Brooks moment where they just kept amping it up.
All the other girls say like, I will eat your children and like F you, and she goes here, and then when it cuts to her, yes, she has the bazooka, and like the timing of the joke when she says maggot, I see what I did there, right? You know, made me laugh of like the unexpected humor tension release thing.
Abigail!
I'm gonna kill you and all your family!
Chloe?
My favorite movie's The Exorcist.
Bethany?
Here.
But yes, those successful jokes are often marred by this like not funny offensiveness and are not funny and like few and far between or whatever. Screw that up. Whatever.
Very well. It's the problem is you have this shotgun of comedy here where they are firing thousands upon thousands of jokes at you, and like eventually one gets through your defenses, but you're left with it's because they're climbing over the bodies of all the dead jokes that didn't land, and one makes it over the hill.
Quit that! You're only encouraging them to speak to us like equals or something.
It's like feeding wild bears. Once you slip a mistake, they'll want to get in your car and drive.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope you're sliding down, sailor. Emergency shopping intervention!
It's not an effective strategy. Yeah, it's not a moral. It's not a moral campaign.
Oh, it's not at all.
2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits, $1. You need a major credit card to make us holler.
And then we get into some of the names of people that pop up. I mean, they've got Dick Whackmeister.
Who put us in a poster with computer geeks? I'll bet it's Dick Whackmeister, that guy in home ec.
with hair on his palms.
And the one
that's his birth name. Are you saying that that's a joke? He was the only person playing himself. Lindsay, you're so offensive.
He's of the Pennsylvania Whackmeisters.
So you're familiar with them.
And the teacher is like Miss Dykey. And,
Yeah.
and everyone keeps mispronouncing the name. We're doing so good. We're not saying any of the slurs.
Say hello to your new recruit, Jane, an exchange student from Kentucky.
What am I supposed to do with her, Miss?
That's Dykey!
Right.
No. And she always talks about her uterus for some reason.
Yeah.
What the hell was that? My uterus?
She is a second wave feminist because this movie was made in 1989 by like a 40-year-old man.
Right.
And then filmed slowly over the course of the decade.
So that my vibe of this was they filmed this every weekend for 2 years.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be. And then okay, so these cheerleaders figure out that for some reason they're upset about this flyer that somebody made.
Angela, I swear, we didn't make the poster.
And that's why the name of your Whackfest club is all over it.
Yeah.
That tied them to the nerds, the nerd crew or whatever.
Well, the nerds are like putting them on the internet.
Come on, we've got to get that footage on our website in half an hour. We've got subscribers waiting.
And they're like filming their stuff, right? And they're doing a thing, and they think that the nerds also made a flyer. We find out later that it wasn't.
Well, the flyer said to go to their little nerd room in the basement. It said like check out level E5, whatever, which had one of the only other funny lines to me when they're like, "Oh, the smell of semen could get you pregnant in there," or something like that. And I was like, "What are they doing in there?"
I know,
get pregnant from the fumes. Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you think this is it? Oh, I think we could all get pregnant just from the fumes.
Oh gosh, nobody breathe.
And they're in there and they're all dressed in Star Trek shirts. And our leader, I think his name is Maverick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maverick.
Off of Top Gun.
And Flamer is the one that is constantly shitting his pants every time a girl talks to him for some reason.
Egregious fart noises, yes.
Oh. God, it's so terrible. I can't remember the name of the other guy, but there's 3 or 4 of them.
Like it was something like dick related.
No, like I don't know
or something.
Yeah, no, that's the guy who we have all the fantasies, and the fourth guy has the helmet, which I thought was funny and Mel Brooksy, that it kept changing what was on the helmet. It's like
whatever
to their needs. I need a phone. Oh, I need a satellite. Whatever.
Yeah, he just has a fucking phone on his head, and you're like, what?
Or he has the. One time, didn't he have the Millennium Falcon on his head?
Yeah.
Or was it the USS Enterprise?
Oh no, it was Enterprise.
Yeah.
But
that guy, anytime he talks, it's fucking the cringiest shit ever. Well, I'm like, don't talk, Russ. Don't talk.
That's not it, Chief. Yeah, etc.
So they go down there and they confront them for some reason, and then they leave, and nothing really happens from that confrontation, if I remember right. Because the same scenes happen over and over and over again in this movie. They go down to the nerd lair at least 6 times. They go to the bleachers at least 4 times. They're standing in front of the school half a dozen times, or they're in an open field a bunch of times. They fight the Catholic school girls like 5 times.
That's like... So, like, the idea that they jump the first time is why they have to learn ninja powers in the first place. And they just have a montage, and now we know, well, we jumped over a fence and we ducked under a log. I'm now a professional.
When do we get to learn to do backflips, turn invisible, and fight Ninja Turtles?
We all broke the same board over and over again, which I'm like, did they mean that?
That was a
Did
joke,
they just...
and that was genius.
I don't know if that became a joke or if that was a joke.
Yes, it may have become one on set that day, but I think in the print, because at one point he's like, all right, like he just does it again, like without them kicking it.
You can tell he's trying not to laugh, too.
Yeah,
I have, like, in my head, I'm picturing a set where they're like no, we're going to film it from an angle, sell it each time, where we're going to cut it, oh, it'll be great. We just don't do that.
Well, there's also another funny little background thing that happens when they first go to that guy's dojo or whatever it is. You got the two people fighting with swords, and he just kills the other guy. And then he starts fighting a little girl with a sword, and she ends up killing him.
How can you stand it?
I thought
it's like a Tim and Eric looking guy too. You're like, what is this guy? This is your kung fu hero? Like, what is happening?
Yeah, he has like thick glasses or something. Yeah. But you mentioned all these things keep happening over and over again, and yes, it feels like they filmed all those things together, which you probably would do anyway.
Yeah.
But it feels that way. So sometimes you're like, oh, we've accomplished this now. Now we have the power of the internet, or we have the power of the ninja. And then later another scene comes back with more of that, and you're like, is this a flashback now? What's happening? Why is this? What? And it's the movie's very confusing in that way.
It is very confusing, especially trying to remember specific scenes and what actually happened within them, because it was like fart joke, boob joke, here's the hamster cam of some girl's crotch as she does a high kick.
What do you think about
sex doll?
So a lot of those were like insert shots from like okay, this nudity took place later. Okay, we got someone to do this thing.
Yeah.
Do you think the same things with the hamster thing? Because I can't imagine being on a set because my one of my notes was like, did they pay these girls or did they blackmail these girls? Because like if you're on set for a real movie and you're like, okay, now kick your legs. All right, one more time for safety. Okay,
yeah.
Like I'd be like, what kind of movie is this?
Yeah.
Like,
well, but like I think it only happens twice though, and it's like them slowing it down and blowing it up and stuff.
Yeah.
I think they just caught them, and then they were like, "This is great. We're gonna do a thing." I
think because towards the end they have a little product placement of that one girl's website.
Oh yeah,
she's in the movie. Yeah, I think they used some body doubles for those.
She is a boob double.
Yeah. Because in the rest of those fight scenes, when those same girls are doing high kicks and stuff, they don't have underwear on like that. They have like full coverage bloomers.
There was one of those scenes where I'm like, this fantasy is going far too far. I'm like, this person is 100%. I'm like, what is this? What's happening here? This isn't a movie. This isn't a movie.
You ready? Yeah. Oh, that's turning me on.
No. But like, yeah, Lindsay, you're talking about like when they're actually fighting, they have bigger underwear on. You know, Stefan, you're talking about the fantasy.
The fantasy
scenes. It is like revealed that and like that's the chick that has the website, and she is a like famous softy porny person.
Yeah. Hey, what website is that? CuraDance.com. Wow, another amazingly coincidental product placement.
Yeah, her website gets plugged, a like adult something website gets
adult
plugged,
toys.
And I'm like, okay, so did they get the blow up dolls? They sex all from that thing? Like, is this part of their product placement commercial? We pay you to be in this thing.
We need to give our cheerleader Zord the ultimate weapon. Hey, look at this. Discount sextoyshop.com.
And I'm like, I can't even imagine like a website being like, oh yeah, your movie sounds fantastic. I would completely be in that. Like,
they're like, a movie, wow, here you go.
Yeah. Oh my! But the fantasy scenes that the one guy has. The first one, he's shaking. Is it the first one where he's trying to shake the container of mustard, and then for some reason it turns into a wet dream for him?
Yeah, well, I think he's tied to the action.
Yeah, that's like the third one. The first one is remote control, for the blow-up doll that turns her into a real girl. And I'm like, you can be, and I'm there naively like, you can like see her tits. What the fuck? And then she just takes it off, and I'm like, oh my god, is this a porno? What am I watching?
Take off my shirt.
His brother is hilarious. Like, he doesn't do much in the movie, but what he does...
H. Muhammad Buddha! How do you think you're doing, bitch?
Like, he like slaps him at one point, and he says something. I don't even remember what it was, but I remember going, this guy I like. And then he came back with some shit strapped on his face, and I was like, this isn't funny.
Hey, I'm kind of partial strap-ons myself.
You've lost it. You had it and you've lost it. You flew too close to the sun with wings of wax, and you're dead now, Icarus.
With a fake dick on your face.
Yes.
Yeah, he had
like he's fucking Cyrano.
Like a strap on his. Yeah.
Too far.
And the man, not the mayonnaise, but the mustard fantasy scene is the one that really confused me on the timing of when this was shot, because they do the whole American Beauty cheerleader fantasy scene. And I'm like, did American Beauty rip this off or something? But
when did American Beauty come out?
Like 1999, I want to say. But I was just, and that whole thing, the chick's completely naked, like the JJ out doing splits on the grass. And that's where I'm like, what the fuck does Stefan have me watching?
No, like
if I haven't already said it, I had not seen any of these movies beforehand. I just saw two things with the same title, and I thought it would be a fun comparison. And it's crazy.
It's been fun.
It's been
but yeah, like this is not tasteful or like incidental nudity. No one's getting their tops like snatched, and they're like, oh, there's nothing. This is not like panty
This is
raised.
not Revenge of the Nerd stuff. This is just someone's fantasy.
This is straight up clam. You are seeing bush. It is fucking crazy.
It is very crazy.
And then it's cutting back to the dude like squirting the mustard and stuff, and I'm like, who is this for? This is for no one.
When you first started,
enjoying that, and no one's enjoying this.
And you said like that mustard scene made me question the timing. I thought you were gonna be like, because that mustard bottle came out in 1993.
Numbers flying around. Yeah. No, the American Beauty thing broke my brain because you're absolutely right. I fell so into your like talking, both of you, of like, oh, so it was probably made a long time ago or something like that. But yeah, how do you explain the American Beauty reference?
I think they were filming every week, probably writing as they went, because based on how fucking crazy this shit is, like they had to. And the last thing was definitely all the nudity stuff, because they probably were like, okay, the movie's done. Yeah, we need this movie sucks. We got to spice it up with some shit. All right, and like that's my thought is like a lot of these on scene, on the moment, like when that girl at the end like shows her boobs or whatever, I feel like they're like in the script was like, and you show your boobs, blah blah blah, and then like she didn't know they were going to cut to like boob doubles there. I have a feeling a lot of these situations it was just like, oh no, like we didn't know what we were doing when it happened.
I've got great tits.
Because who the fuck would sign up for this? And I was like, are these actors in other things? Like, where are they? And almost all of them, no. A few have been in like more things, but really it's just that one girl with the website and and the gay guy character.
These are not actors in the traditional sense.
And one of the times I laughed the hardest was nothing that they were doing purposefully, but there was a scene where they're sitting out front of the school with the girl from Kentucky. They're like talking to her, and they have that stupid line about sphincters and stuff. I'm like, that's just disgusting.
That was my kind of dumb.
And if you meet a guy you like, tell him you clean sphincters with your tongue.
But a storm is approaching. You can hear the thunder and lightning, and it's starting to rain. And you can tell that they did not plan on this. They're like, "Come on, we gotta hurry up, get the scene done before it starts raining. Hurry up!"
Now, Jane, if you're gonna get anywhere at Happy Valley High, you've just got to learn the lingo.
Yeah, if something's cool, it's the shit.
That's probably where I laughed the hardest, because I'm like, oh, I've been on sets like this where you're fighting the weather and you just gotta get it done before before it starts raining. I was like, oh wow.
I like the callback to that sphincter line where like and the line itself is something like well, how do you get guys to notice you? And like it's like, tell him you lick sphincter or something.
It was some
line like that.
Oh,
and then later on, she's like, and you guys with that sphincter line, blah, blah. Like,
I had to brush my teeth.
I should have let him kill you after that sphincter joke. I had to brush my teeth for an hour after the first guy I talked to.
At least you met someone.
Was he nice?
Nah, he's a real asshole.
It's not like you could just say something like
I had to brush my teeth for an hour after the first guy.
If I were to have tricked you into saying this to somebody, it wouldn't then be like, and now you have to do this thing you just said. Like it's such a weird.
No, you're obligated to clean the guy's sphincter or whatever it was. I think it was.
Hey, it happens.
It's just weird. And then there was so much just weird shit that they were just trying to throw in, especially in the background. Like there's another scene. I don't know if it's the same one or a different one in front of the school.
Yeah.
There's like a guy sitting there and people start like taking his shirt off and beating him up or something.
Well, he had a sweet ass Hard Rock Cafe shirt. Wouldn't you take that shit? I would.
Your job is to get her acclimated to Happy Valley High. She wants to be a cheerleader. So short of removing half her brains, teach her not to think so much.
Another reason why I thought this was shot in 1994.
And there was no. I thought there'd be like a fun thing, but this movie's like not popular enough, I guess, to have like a little secret whatever.
Like
there's like almost there's no fun things there.
No, I would love to know the behind the scenes story of how this thing came into being and when it came into being and why it came into being.
Started as a high school project and then went into its own was a budget listed on this?
I don't think so.
I feel like there was very little on here.
Yeah.
Because it's like lunch money.
Yeah, this is like no budget cinema. I feel like this is
definitely this is like shot on VHS is the vibe I get from it, and like for that especially, I respect it. I don't like it, but I respect it.
What if it was just made in 2000 or whatever, and they just are bad at this?
Well, it could be DV tape, like, and that would be almost equally as acceptable. That's fine.
Yeah. Or like,
but I just get this VHS tape vibe, like I got this big ass shoulder mounted camera that I rented from the AV club at college where I attend right now, like type of thing. That's the vibe I get.
No, like that might be in a place where like there's not like the AV club there has really old equipment. And
yeah.
Where's using this?
Well, some of the stuff that I actually did enjoy in this movie was all the nerd references that they did. A lot of Star Trek stuff, a lot of Star Wars shit.
Maverick, I thought I smelled your foul stench when I was brought aboard.
We're on a diplomatic mission.
Some of it was funny, some of it was just...
He has a captain's chair. His bark lounger is raised and swivels. He has a captain's chair.
Well, then when the cheerleaders come in and they're like, "We need you to help us do this with the internet," they're like, "No, we can't go against the Prime Directive. There's no interference with any non-technical society."
We just can't figure out this internet thing.
Easy, Maverick. Remember the Prime Directive. No interference with any non-technical society.
I don't think they mean us any harm.
I don't get how a lot of this cleared to get distribution, honestly, because like there's like Star Trek, there's Star Wars, different things happening. They're wearing the outfits, they're doing the lines. Like these are things that I'm like, I feel like errors and omissions insurance wouldn't cover this, and they'd be like, no. and then their main characters are wearing these things the whole movie.
When they're trying to like get out of some place, he's like trying to hit the like fabric comm badge, and then he's like hitting the other guys on like his chest. And like,
we need 3.
Beam us up! Come on, let's go.
Beam up 3 and there's a scene when they're getting like seduced or abused by the Catholic school girls.
Oh boys.
Oh my God. Scotty, 3 to beam up. Only 2.
That was such a weird scene. I'm like,
what the hell was that penny on the head thing? Like, he was dying. I was like, what's happening? What is happening?
I loved that. That was actually great because that like reminded me of like OG Star Trek. I think that's an homage to something or whatever. Because then Maverick's like, please, no, he's just a boy. Like the whole thing. And the guy's screaming and he has the panties on his head. I was like,
Stop it! He's just a boy! If you want to torture someone like this, take me! Take me!
I'll pay you to take me.
This is something about that made me.
And then he's being slapped, but then the sound effect continues and he keeps reacting even though the girl is not slapping him anymore.
Well, really, Lindsay, she's so fast. You can't see it. If they slowed it down, maybe, but there weren't enough frames in their shitty camera. They couldn't do it. Him spraying shit on them and them just being like, yeah. I was like,
No, yeah, like everything before and after the part that I liked was garbage as usual. That's the movie.
And during that scene,
the
we
back of the
have the catastrophic chocolate fart.
Yeah.
Which I liked how they did, like, okay, they explained, okay, we have no budget to show this giant explosion, so we're gonna show this old stock footage.
Suddenly, the massive fart ignites the chocolate bar in Flamer's pants, causing an explosion far too expensive to be shown in this film. Instead, we've substituted the following footage to help you understand the incredible violence of this deadly repulsive fart chocolate mixture.
I thought that was funny, but it was used for such a stupid joke.
It would have worked if they didn't then end up showing you essentially what it was.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait a minute. That was it. What didn't you show me? The 4 milliseconds between explosion and that? Like it. I was
like in your head, you hope for certain things at certain times here. So you hope like, oh, the door flies open. You have a smoke machine in there, weird lighting or something, and they'll come running out with like stuff on their face, like, oh my God. Right. And like, no, they don't do that.
Shit!
Who? Oh my God.
Chocolate.
But you would have had to cut away from that scene to show anything after that. You've ruined the joke. Like it would have had to cut to a different scene entirely. Yes, and either you don't ever cut back to them and we would forgive it because this movie is like it wouldn't have mattered. No. Or like Lee said, they're covered in shit, and that's how you exit the scene. But to then just be like, it's like 3 flicks from a spoon of crap at somebody. I'm like, well, that's not an explosion.
No, it's not.
You've undercut the whole thing you sold. Your joke just got dropped.
There's a smile in every Hershey's.
I need a cigarette.
And then they have, I don't know if it's the second fight or the third fight with the Catholic schoolgirls, because there's way too many to try to remember. It's the one where they're at the ruins. Mm-hmm. And I thought this was the climax of our film. I thought this was the final fight, because they had the bad guy there, Stefan, with his little dog, and he's like sitting on top of a crumbling column, like just shouting shit at people.
Go, my minions! Go! Get them!
Get them, my pretties. And there's this huge scene, and I'm like, oh, right, we're at the end. And I pause it. Nope, there's 40 minutes left. I'm like, where the hell...
where could it go?
What else can we do? And it definitely went somewhere else, because we've got girls jumping on trampolines.
As you control the elements that once controlled you.
We have a wet pogo stick chase scene.
Oh my God, and almost none of them could actually pogo for more than like 2 jumps. One of them was really good, but almost all of them were like dunk 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 dunk. I'm like, what is happening? They just wrote anything they could possibly do. But then this is what's crazy, like they had to have like 9 pogo sticks to make that work. And I'm like,
where do you get a pogo stick?
For 4 seconds, they bought all these pogo sticks?
No, they must have had the pogo sticks. You see, they have to just use whatever's in there.
Oh, like their Christian summer camp uses pogo sticks and they borrowed them or something?
No, like everything, this is like anything could be an example, but this is a good example of like the malpractice, because they have the announcer.
And the big question is, just how good are the cheerleaders' new ninja skills? And more importantly, will we get to see some hooters?
I love girls jiggling in slow motion on pogo or something, like whatever he says. Yeah. And then they have the girls pogoing, but it's filmed like someone with a cell phone would film somebody getting arrested. Like there's no close-ups or like slow-mo. They're not wearing like pure white where like them being wet would like matter. It's just like some of it's kind of white and you're not seeing anything. There's no like.
That's why I don't think that the girls in the movie were privy to how like perverted a lot of this was going to be. Right? They're like, the announcer wasn't in the script. That they cut to because they didn't have that scene. They had to do something there. Like even him turning on the water, like there's a special key for that water, and he didn't have it. He just like was going like this to nothing.
You don't need the key. It's fine. It's movie thing. He's just turning.
Yeah, and there was just so many scenes in this where it was just an excuse to exploit a woman.
There's a titty slapping scene.
But they often didn't even exploit the woman. But,
No.
it is my point, which is what makes it so weird to me.
Yeah.
But yes, there's also egregious stuff. Like the titty thing just keeps going, and I'm like, this is one of the least erotic titty scenes I've ever seen in my life.
I would say it's almost the worst kind of exploitation because the people that are being exploited don't even know that they're being exploited. So like any normal person that watches this doesn't go titty doubles. They think they're looking at that person. You are now ruining that girl's life because people go for that movie as you put out your breasts. Like that's horrible, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I'd be interested to know
like,
what was actually happening on scene versus the final product that we got. I don't know.
They're like, wow, I'm in a movie, and then it's like, I can never show this movie to anyone. Ever.
Yeah. Jesus.
Oh.
Just thinking about that, like.
Well, especially because a lot of people, it's the only thing they ever did. So, like, being in a movie can be an exciting thing you might want to share with somebody. And it didn't. No.
My grandkids love when I put on the movie from when I was younger.
Look at Grandma on the pogo stick.
Oh, those aren't Grandma's boobies, but it looks like they are. Yeah.
My boobies were much nicer. Ask Grandpa. Yeah. That's a better movie, what we just did.
Right? But yeah, I have in my notes, please end my suffering. There are 34 minutes left in this film.
Nice.
Bitch.
Oh my God.
Yeah, at one point I wrote, "Are you kidding me?" And that's really early.
That's very early. I was just like, oh God, because they just kept doing the same shit over and over and over again. But then we get to the final thing where they've got this zombie software that they've put out on the internet. The bad guy, the guy who's got the masking tape X on his hat and his shirt.
Yeah,
he's the big bad guy. They've got this
literally masking tape. If people think she's joking, it is just tape. So for a movie that has 9 pogo sticks, we can't get an X printed on a shirt.
No.
Just call me
X. Oh, what a good idea. Goes with your hat.
And so they devised this plan where one guy's going to hook into the nuclear power plant and another guy's going to hook into this hologram company that they work for.
They work at part-time.
Get over to the nuclear power plant where you work part-time in the computer department. Hook your laptop up to their download feed. Chubby, you take your laptop with the morphing software over to the hologram company where you also work part-time. I'll get over to the cheerleaders and we'll hook up with you via satellite.
And then they're going to sync that all together with this software Maverick character has.
Sorry, the good guys are doing that part.
Yes, the good guys. Yes, this is.
For a minute, I was like, "What is she talking about?"
No.
How did I miss anything in this movie?
They're doing this to combat the zombie software stuff.
What was the rationale for the bad guys getting their Megazord? It just happened, right? I don't remember there being a thing. There was no like, and her dad works at the hologram company, and he was like, there was no like inverse.
It just happens.
Megazord more, now!
I have you now, Cheerleader Ninjas.
And so, yeah, it turns into Mighty Morphin Power Rangers at the end because the bad Catholic schoolgirls merge into this Zord that looks like it's made out of plastic trash cans.
They're almost the exact same Zord.
Okay,
yeah.
They didn't really try.
Okay. That's what kills it. Is that even if they were both shitty, if they were different enough, and if if like the cheerleader Megazord was like cheerleader themed or something, and the other one was like black and garbage bag themed, right? That would have made it better. I really love how when they defeat the one, there's just like 4 Barbie dolls on the ground, like laying there on like the fake ground. I was like, that's fun. There's a few little fun things.
Almost everything else about that scene really drops the ball though, because it's not. It's like, okay, this is a thing. Like, it would be fun for a music video, but when it's something that's so out of the realm of anything else that happened in this film, you kind of take notice that it's like, oh, it's a cardboard building. You're stepping on cardboard. I can see it fold as you step on it. Like, this is not good. And it's not campy enough to be fun because they put no effort into the outfit.
No.
But Lindsay, you mentioned like the arc of it or whatever, because like no, like we've already had maybe the climax. So there's two Zords destroying a city and fighting with dildos, and there's like after effects, lighting effects or whatever going off, and you're like, this is the like lowest energy fight of the movie, and it's your ending like this doll is so the stakes are never been higher.
Right. Well, and then they each have a name tag so you can tell them apart because they're
the
so
same.
different.
Oh God. Yeah.
But
they
they
keep
did make
falling
2
off.
because they are interacting. So it's not like it is literally a one-sided fight and then it cuts back to the other guy. Like they made 2 of them on purpose. The same thing. They're just monotone things. Like it's just a black crinkly thing. You could have spray painted one orange and one blue, and it would have been done, and it would have looked just as bad as it does. But at least it would have been different.
Yeah,
it's such a strange choice.
Did you say the name tags are falling off?
Yes.
They are. They're not. They're like
Stepped on shoe heaven and now you're gonna pay.
on angles because they're just on strings. They're not even like glued to the front because that's somebody else's uniform. Like from I went to school with the guy for his final project. He made these monsters. Oh, we can borrow them. Well, we can't ruin them.
No. But then they. Because they're destroying buildings. They're destroying the is it Shoe Palace? Shoe something?
Shoe Haven? Shoe Heaven?
The one girl's obsessed with shoes because she's a girl. Oh my God, she always has
Women
to
do
go
be
get
shopping.
shoes.
I don't know if you're
Women
aware of
be
this.
shopping.
Oh my gosh, there's a clearance sale at Shoe Heaven. No way.
You don't think it'll stomp out shoe heaven, do you?
How about these fuck me pumps? Cheerleading pole sneakers.
Pogo stick aisle or shoe something or like I was like, God damn it, shut up, you idiots.
And then they each are manifest through some capabilities their own double-sided dildo to have a sword fight with. And I'm just like, what?
Contractually obligated. They needed to get the sex toys in there or else they weren't going to get their funding.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But still, this is not the final ending to our film.
No.
It's not the end yet.
It's still shockingly far from the end.
Yeah. Like, what else can we do? So everybody goes to the bad guy's lair and
which is a garage.
Which is a garage with some blinking lights on a map.
So you're the one who put the pictures of us with the geeks all over school?
And paid the bimbo underlings to bribe me to write a code to put the picture of the Pope all over the net.
I did like the blinking lights on the map. It's just Christmas lights punched through a map, but there's something about that. I was like, I could put that on set.
Right?
No,
it works. It works. And underneath it said big bad guy's evil plan or something like that, which is whatever. It works. But I don't even understand like what they were trying to do at the end.
It's unrecognizable.
He's got some kind of program on a disc to do something with the internet, and the stupid girl who likes shoes was like, oh, and she puts it in the computer for no reason.
The final zombie code string is right here.
Insert into disk drive.
And it starts to...
Well, because that's how computers work. The disk goes in the disk drive. She knows this, uses her context clues to be an idiot. It's all just so dumb where why is this even a plot?
I think that she reads it and it says insert into disk drive and she's like, oh, I can do that. And she goes, I'm using the computer. And everyone else is, that's who Maverick's like, no! And like jumps and I was like,
but like, why is he even there? Why are any of them there? Why do they need anybody else? They have this plan. Why, like the Christian Academy, I'm going to call him, hires this guy who's the one that sends them in the first place to even find these people and tell them what their problem is. He is also the one that made the posters that started the problem with the Christians. So like, why, if he was going to take over the internet or whatever, didn't he just do it? Why did he need to create this whole thing?
Convoluted mess. Yeah, it's the nerdy guy that they go to school with, who they talk to a couple times.
Yeah, who's a rich billionaire with a laptop on the bleachers.
Yeah.
Why is he still in high school or college or whatever the hell this is?
My nerdism is recessive, allowing me to be cuter than a straight Tom Cruise and run the school newspaper, as well as my own multi-million-dollar software company. And I'm only a junior.
I don't know.
Is it college? Is it high school?
It's high school.
What is this?
It's supposed to be high school.
They're 58 years old, so you can see how I can be confused.
But the great big climax at the end is they just unplug the computer.
No! Oh, the old pull out the plug trick. Damn it! It's the second time I've fallen for that this week.
Yeah, multiple times. That is the answer.
Multiple times. That's the answer. Just unplug it.
Oh, Christ. It's
which could have been funny, but it was not. I think that's probably, you could add that to anything here, right?
It's maybe funny if you save it for the ending, but when you already, it's like, oh, they pulled the plug, that solved the problems. Oh, they're going to pull the plug again, it solved the problem. What? The man had it on a disc. At any point in time in his whole life, he could plug it in again. I don't understand why he's there. No, but why is he there? He had no reason to be there. He could have been at his house, presumably a rich man's compound. He owns billionairenerd.com or something. I don't know why he's in a shitty garage.
No, not at all. And it's like, why did you have this big climax with 2 Zords and build this set and have a double dildo fight? And that's not the ending to your movie.
You just made it sound good, by the way. I was like, okay, that's a good pitch.
Oh, she'll cut in a picture. They'll know it's not good.
I know.
I'm like, cool.
They'll know it's not good, believe me.
It's got legs.
There's so much happening in this movie, and that's it's both the only reason to watch it and why it's so bad. It's so ambitious. For what this movie is, honestly, this is like a $7 movie, and there's a million things happening.
Yeah.
So much more. And when you say it's a school project, any scene on its own is what would get shown in English class when your hip teacher said, oh, we're going to do a video component of this. All right, let's say Macbeth was happening now, and you had to film a reality show about it. That's the kind of bullshit things this is. All right, Darth Vader, but he's on Dr. Phil. Oh, this will be fun. That's the stupid shit that we have here. But it is a fucking feature-length movie, and it's so long. What is the movie, 7 hours? It's so long.
It's almost 2 hours
long. Let me just write down these brilliant ideas you're having. Dr. Phil.
Your attitude, your behavior is, I'm going to get them before they get me. Why are you so afraid that you're not going to be accepted?
I'm not.
Then why are you behaving this way?
I don't know, because I am. Because that's just how I handle things.
Well, you have 1,000 choices that you could choose, and you choose this one consistently, is to attack people verbally, alienate them, push them away, call them names, and distance yourself from them.
Right.
Darth Vader.
That was a project we did in school in 9th grade or something. I don't have access to it because I was just the guy in the suit playing Darth Vader. It was someone else's project.
Yeah,
but it was in our friend's basement.
We all did those kind of projects. I did one where it was about In Cold Blood, and I shot the trial, and I played every character. I was
That's
the judge.
Brilliant.
I was everyone in the jury.
Let's get a clip of that right here.
Yeah, right? That's awesome.
But
all I did was write the geometry song with 2 of my friends and perform it in math class.
Get a clip of that too.
Right?
I wish I had a clip of that.
I wish I had a clip of mine too. It's somewhere on a VHS tape or something. But yeah, when this movie finally ended, I wrote in my notes, I am released.
Yeah.
I'm free.
Much like the very rare bear, I too am set free from my mortal coil.
And I thought the rare bear gag was funny. But then it just kept going. I'm like...
It was robbed of any humor it could have had by its length, and that 4 minutes later, they used all the mascot costumes they could ever have access to.
Yes.
And I was like, all right, well, you've lost it. Why is? And then there's a horse. It's too much. They threw everything they had.
So we have barely scratched the surface. There's so much here.
Much.
But so many of the individual things feel like they go on for too long and they overstay their welcome.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, all of them. All of them.
But it's like a time warp. It's like a crazy. It's impossible because there's so many things they shouldn't have time to like beat them over. Beat the dead horse or whatever. But they are doing it constantly.
Yeah. It's because it's a joke every second. It's literally a joke every second.
Because most comedy films, it's like if you're like on a shooting range They've got like a bolt action rifle. Is a regular comedy film. These people have a it's that scene in Predator where they're just melee in the forest.
They hate trees and they hate us.
That is this film with their comedy.
Yeah, for me, it's a bunch of Uzis with the triggers taped down, getting shot out of a catapult at me. I'm like, oh god, it's going everywhere. Who cares? It's astronomical, and that's why it's like again, it's so impressive because to say a shoestring budget, the movie can't have budget. Like I'm pretty sure they were like, you better eat lunch because there's no food here, and then get over here. And we have 3 hours of daylight. We have to film. I gotta go to work. Like we'll be back tomorrow. Like it feels like that kind of project. But for how much like stuff, like when they say is like, if you have a tortoise, you should make a movie with a tortoise, and they made a list of everything in the world they had access to, and they put it in this movie.
Every toy from their childhood bedroom, every friend they've ever met. Yeah, exactly.
Every single sound effect they have on their little soundboard.
Called in every favor.
This movie is like, I swear to God, this is what they make. What's his name? Watch in Clockwork Orange with his eyes.
Oh yeah.
okay.
Eyelids peeled open.
Just like it just attacks you, and you just don't know what's happening. It just happens to you when you watch this movie.
But for that many things, there's so little that I pull out of going, that part was good. I looked at him and I see the one thing I wrote down. There's a part where a person went, "Fuck your condom," and I thought that was funny.
I was gonna use a condom.
Fuck your condom!
Okay, wait, I have one too that I was waiting for a place to put in. I highlighted it. Don't those chips cause anal leakage? And he's like, they better, or I'm taking them right back. I'm just like picking them all fast.
Lestra flavored chips.
Hey, don't those cause anal leakage? They better, or I'm taking them right back.
Yeah.
Also, wait, what was the flavor?
Olestra.
No. What the hell is Olestra?
No, that was like the name of the chemical or like the chips that cause the anal leakage, but that also dates it. When were those chips popular?
That was in the 90s. That was in the 90s when that came out.
Why did you make an Olestra joke? Yeah.
I was so confused by so much in this movie.
They wrote so many cheers. Like so many, and none of them were good.
That made me laugh too when the gay guy is like, "You suck. You really, really suck.
You suck. You really, really, really suck."
And like
we've taking notes.
We've already seen them do do their cheers, and that's one of them.
Okay, you suck. You suck. You really, 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 really suck.
But then they play like a ding sound effect, and then she's like, okay, well, all right, we're not done.
Everything has a sound effect. Oh, is somebody walking? Play scurrying fucking Flintstone tittle toes.
Shoo, go away.
Like, oh, is someone doing anything? Play a fucking sound effect.
Like the bongos, like the the little noise. Yeah.
And if all else fails, just throw in a fart noise. I'll do a supercut right now of every single fart noise in the film.
Oh God, no!
Oh, do you know the commitment that you just laid upon yourself?
You're gonna have to watch the movie again.
Oh my God!
Please cut that. No.
I'm gonna save her from herself and say she should not do that.
I'll put in a few.
As many as you can stand.
Oh my God.
It cuts to you with your eyes peeled open by the little thing. Just crying.
I understand. Oh my God.
That racist Japanese subtitle bit where like it's a mixture of them either making up Japanese things and it's saying things, or them saying things in English and weird fucking things popping up. I was like, what is this?
We poke 'em slow. We poke 'em young. Shoya.
Lick my pagoda, eat my dog deuce do.
Too late. Now you will feel the wrath of my rejection.
What is?
And that comes And that comes after, because, well, no, later, maybe, when they do the Zords, too, they have two guys do, like, fake, like, pointing Godzilla.
Yeah.
Twinkle cheerleader, it was cougar. All we do. That's all. Oh, it's so fun.
Dialogue, too, but yeah.
All that screams 90s to me. Like, I'm like, yeah, this is when, like, you had to do nothing but gay jokes and fart jokes and show tits to get by. That was the 90s.
Yeah.
It was a wild time.
Well, it was funny back then. We didn't have comedy yet.
But this takes it even further than, you know.
Oh, for sure. This is a movie that could get that guy
American
fired
stuff.
now.
Yeah. I'm just like, what the hell?
This review will get it like dredged back up.
Okay.
You're gonna have somebody on Twitter and they're gonna be like, "Oh, you're fired."
So do you want to know what he'll get fired from doing?
Yes.
There's a series called Video Workbench where he explains how to make models.
I thought those came first. Are those were after?
He has one from 2015.
My God.
most are like before, right? So whoever this is made like 10, you know, how to build figures, how to build a car model, how to build science fiction models, and it's all video documentary short stuff. So and then he was like, you know what? I got one script in me that's been there my whole life. I need this, and put out the Cheerleader movie.
Oh my!
It's almost shocking to think that an adult made this. Like, it screams like high school kid. Like, the idea that he had anything out before this.
Oh, yeah, because he was making other things for 10 years. He can't have been making stuff since he was 8 years old.
You wouldn't think so.
He had to have been at the youngest in his mid-20s. At the youngest. But this humor...
Yeah, mid to late.
But this humor is like, it's not even high school. It's like junior high.
Yeah, well, 90s was junior high for
That's
everyone.
True.
I may have just had the same brain damage that everyone had in the 90s. Might have been okay. Yeah.
But it's so weird where, like, even something that I would have thought was funny in the 90s, a lot of things that you watch back, you're like, it's not funny.
No.
Like, and it's not like I'm this, like, woke freedom warrior.
No.
It's just that the humor only worked then, like, for a lot of things. And if you watch something enough, nostalgia can carry you through much.
True.
And some things are like good enough that they can give you the nostalgia without you having ever actually seen it then. But a majority of things are just like, oh, it's garbage now. What did you do?
And I don't think this movie was ever acceptable.
Yeah, that's the thing too.
Well,
right?
no, if you would have showed this, like, Lee, if you would have saw this when you were 13, you would have probably loved this movie.
I don't think so. I honestly don't think so.
I picture Lee like, looking for adult situations as he sets his TiVo, and this would have said that, and you would have saved it, and you'd be like, oh yeah, ninja cheerleaders or cheerleader ninjas.
one or the other.
Yeah, the humor is for children, though, but clearly the movie is not. So it's a weird like middle ground that it muddles through.
And it's like, I mean, because we talk about with the other one if you would recommend it or not. It's like, I don't want to expose anyone else to this movie.
Not alone, for sure.
Not alone. Do not watch this alone.
You need a parent or a guardian present.
You need adult supervision when you're watching this movie.
If you just threw this on at a party...
You need to be in the care of a physician to watch this movie.
Like, picture a party you're at, but not like one where people are sitting and watching a movie. Where, like, you're socializing and everything, and there's just this thing on that you'd eventually, like, every once in a while, it would be silent, and you'd catch you like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is the perfect bullshit thing for something like that.
If you went to, like, your drug dealer's house and there were just multiple televisions and this was just on
all of them at different scenes.
This is the coolest guy in the world. He has the best drugs. The dankest kush can be found here in this.
He puts this on so that nobody lingers. They just leave after the transaction's done.
He's not like, you want to play N64. He's the opposite. He's like, this is to drive everyone away.
He's a business hippie. He needs you out.
It's a filter. Only the coolest people will stay and say, oh, what's that?
Because I think if I sat like some of my friends down that also like bad movies, I'm like, oh, I got something new for you. You got to watch this. They would not talk to me for a while.
That's how you get rid of friends. Or you really you test a try. You put this on before you're getting married. You're like, oh, you're fit to be my best man. You stayed. You're cool.
This guy's ride or die.
Or it's like, you're like, oh, they stayed. You can't even come to my wedding.
Right? I've changed my mind.
If they laugh at certain things, you're like flip forward.
This is the opposite of my clue test. Like, oh, he's laughing. Get this psychopath out of my house.
I would recommend it. I think people should watch this. I think between the two,
Lee gets dropped from the call.
This is the most of like this is an experience. I'm going to forget Ninja Cheerleaders.
Yeah, agreed.
But this has damaged my soul.
Yeah,
and I want to spread it to other people.
Right. This is like you watch the Ring tape and you need to pass it on.
Yeah. I need someone to watch this.
Pass.
No, I think you won in some ways, lost in others. But like, this is a movie that I think somebody would have saw like 10 years ago and be like, I have to look for that. Oh, someone's talking about it because I can't watch it again. Let me just. Oh yes, that's what I thought it was. Like just nobody is searching for Ninja Cheerleader, but this is something where I'm like, yes, this is an experience.
And if you're looking for either of these movies, they're both on Amazon.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah, the one we did on your channel, Ninja Cheerleader, is free with ads. But Cheerleader Ninjas, this one, you do have to pay $2.99 to rent it.
Ads are the fucking devil. I would never. I just the other day watched something with ads. I can never do that again. I would sooner give somebody $20 than to sit there and watch those goddamn commercials. And if you're trying to watch it with other people over the internet, the commercials aren't even the fucking same. They come at different points and fuck you constantly. It's a goddamn animal.
They're also placed in the worst spots.
Yeah,
the worst spots.
It's the same commercials over and over again, and these are not targeted ads because there's things that I'm like, what the fuck is this?
No, they're just targeted by region, and that's it. They're not targeted by person.
Absolute bullshit.
But
so buy both these films.
Yes, buy both
it's
of
worth
them.
It. I don't even know where that money goes to this fucking guy who makes modeled airplane videos. Like, what is happening? He's
it's probably owned 50% by that girl who showed her boobs, and the other half by that sex toy company.
He's just out of it. He's like, I'll give him my gift.
Well, he just had a vision that he wanted made. He didn't care about the money.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. But yeah.
What was that website? Kira something?
Something. I don't know.
It was her name. She's not the only one like pictured on IMDb as a female.
Yeah. But I mean, we've talked about this movie for an hour. And we barely scratched the surface.
Oh yeah, no, like it's an impossibility because it's not real. Like you
No, it would take it would take 4 or 5 hours to talk about everything in this movie.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's over an hour and a half, but it's like an hour and a half ish.
It's an hour and 46 minutes.
It is the longest movie I've ever watched.
Yeah.
And that's almost true. Like just watching it, like any reason I had to like, oh, got a phone call. Hang on, got to check all my emails. Oh, got to archive. Hang on. All right, let's get back to the movie. You know what? I could probably an hour if I drink something now. Hang on, let me get a drink.
I haven't cleaned the microwave in weeks. Let's do that. And just keep finding things to do. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, if you've got a morbid curiosity, I would say go check this movie out. You won't be the same afterwards. This is yeah.
And you can watch it completely after we've talked about it, after you've seen every clip she shows, and it will not do justice to ruin this movie. You could not ruin this movie if you wanted to. No,
I'd have to plunk in the entire damn thing.
And even then, I think on a second watch, you would just be like, what? And you'd start to foam.
Oh, yeah, wait, what happens on a second watch? Because now you know where it's going, but it still won't make sense.
Yeah, no, something
it's
in
like
my
torture.
brain will snap, and my husband will just find me on the floor.
Yeah,
and not know
this
what
is how aneurysms happen. They're not sure this is how. So, like, raging 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, I'd recommend.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, this is. It's an oddity. It's like recommending, like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like sending a friend like a really fucked up YouTube video. Like, hey, watch this horrible car crash.
Do you like poorly done skits? Do you like spoof movies? Boy, do I have some shit for you.
Yeah, I think it would have to be framed like a challenge. Like, I bet you can't watch this. I bet you can't.
You could make a drinking movie out of this. Anytime something doesn't make sense happens, take a drink, and you'd be like, I'm dead.
You'd be dead 30 minutes in.
Someone with an impressive tolerance was there watching it for 30 whole minutes.
But any last thoughts, any last little nuggets about Cheerleader Ninjas?
Let me take a quick look on my notes, and I've had to omit something.
So just in case we don't have an opportunity to show it earlier or something, I just wanted to say I did like the first time they used the blow up doll as like a stunt double when she's like going around the pole. I was
that
like,
was fun.
That's got it something. That's something, right?
Yes,
but,
that worked.
But it keeps going too many times or some dumb thing.
They
whatever.
linger on certain things just way too long. It's like they're because with comedy there's beats you gotta hit, and for a lot of it they even if the joke is good, they just don't hit it.
Yeah, like timing is.
There are two things, just so you can show them, that I want to talk about real quick. There's a part where I think it's one of the Catholic schoolgirl, whatever, is like spits on the dude, and she's like, and it's like a mouthful of spit.
So much spit.
We give up. It's back to selling nun porno for us. We're out of here.
And that's great. And then there's a subtle one where, like, right after the Megazord scene, they all rush into the garage lair, and like 3 of them are wearing, like, you know, the Power Ranger masks, and one has like a ranger, like a park ranger hat on. Like she didn't get the memo. And I was like, that's so dumb.
Huh?
I said your world domination days are over.
But
okay, you've got it. You can have my. I'll go like this, like a little side smile, like not a real. And if nothing else, just because they had to buy all those things for this stupid throwaway nothing of a whatever.
Yeah, it's like there's little smart jokes like that could work if they would have just edited themselves a little. Just take it down a notch.
Make this a tight, like 50 minutes.
If it would have just been better.
If it would have just been better.
Yeah.
Just control yourself a little.
If you had thrown a tremendous budget to this, like a Scary Movie-esque budget to this, a lot of these jokes could land, because most of them are visual and they just can't do it. Mm-mm. So like it's mostly just that. And again, that's the reason why I say you should see it. Watch what ambitious people can do with just time and no money or talent or much effort. It's impressive.
No, because people don't make movies because they're like, well, it's going to turn out bad, and then what'll happen, right?
Yeah. You
can watch this and be like, oh, that I expected better than that. It's fine.
Yeah, it could launch the careers of hundreds of thousands.
Right. Or you'll end up in like 20 years having 3 people like us talk about you on the internet.
Which would be an honor.
Probably the latter, yes.
Probably the latter. All right, I think we've talked about this as just about as much as we want to.
Yeah, I think we covered as much as you could cover.
Yeah, without going insane. So we've done our recommendations. We've done our final thoughts. If you're watching this one first, make sure you go over to Cannibal Video and watch their video on Ninja Cheerleaders. But thank you very much for joining us. Thank you guys for joining me for Cheerleader Ninjas. I think we've come to the end of the video. So
thank God.
Exactly. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Go! Masters, take that ball! Kill them all!
Eat their livers, drink their blood, pound their heads into the mud!
Break their legs, crush their knees, make it hurt bad where they pee!
Shoot their girlfriends, burn their houses, kill their extended